Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant and welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Now with hopefully 100% less frustration that isn't entirely necessary for me to inflict on myself. How about we don't? Oh wait, that's the point of the game. Hopefully you have something interesting to open the video with, because I didn't really feel like cutting out the first battle. Spoink! Psychic type, I do not remember from which generation. All I remember is I think I heard a fun fact about this thing, that if it ever stops hopping up and down on that little spring that is its tail, at least I think it's its tail, if it ever stops hopping, it dies. You tell me a more depressing fact about a Pokemon than that. Good lord. What a depressing moment to start the episode on. Why did I even do this? I thought the whole point of this was to make people happy. They're a bird keeper. Why am I going to lead with somebody that's 4 times weak to flying? That would be smart of me. Let's not do something smart. Let's do something stupid by lead with the best thing to counter the bird type. You know, there was also a rumor that bird type may have actually been a type instead of flying type, or in addition to flying type. I don't know where I heard that. Maybe Vic did mention it. But Tailo, the generic normal flying type of the 3rd generation! Actually fairly powerful on the physical side. A lot of people like running Guts Tailo with a Toxic Orb, because Guts is an ability, you know, like HCB has, where it gets stronger if you're inflicted with a status ailment. And with how physically powerful Tailo and its evolution are, boosted with the Guts ability, and with a move Facade that doubles in power if you have a status infliction, it can be pretty darn powerful. It's a force to be reckoned with. I guess that's why people enjoy using it more than Staraptor from the 4th generation. Funny, Starly doesn't get nearly as much love as Tailo does. I actually liked Starly a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but enough more to warrant me saying that I liked it more, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. But Route 12, the fishing route! I bet a lot of these guys have nothing but Magikarp. Do you know why Kyler is going to be the first trainer who I do not accept a phone number trade with? He had 3 Pokemon. A level 18 Magikarp, a level 18 Magikarp, and a level 18 Magikarp! Krako, could you please just fry this guy into a cinder? You don't want to commit murder. Well, I guess murder is between 2 people, so you wouldn't technically be committing murder. And that over there is a yellow flute. We'll pick that up when I come back here with Leaky. That is not something I feel like passing up. Well, 3 Gyarados is still better than 3 Magikarp, but considering we have Krako out front, it's not that much better, is it? What? Gale is a girl's name, just FYI. But if we hit in here, something interesting for a change! The Super Rod. And now we can catch things by fishing that are actually somewhat reasonable to use, although not all that much better. I mean, they are going to be about level 40 or so when you fish for them with the Super Rod, so at least that's a thing. How do you listen to the radio when the power is down and you can't get any radio signal? No, you did not lose because you were listening to the radio. You cannot hear the radio. There are no radio signals coming from the radio tower because we have to restore power to it. That's the whole reason we're doing this. You gotta figure whoever programmed this game could have at least thought ahead. I mean, if they thought ahead to give Gwenna some text when we got to talk to her, or when we tried to call her when the radio tower was being taken over, you program that in, you can program in the difference between whether or not we've actually restored power to the radio tower. Why don't I hit... Crap. I don't think I could knock Magmar out in one shot. I don't want to go to Crunch. I guess I'll go to Lupus, and... Aerial Ace, why not? But believe it or not, I actually had something somewhat interesting to talk about before I realized that I was cutting out 15 battles and wouldn't be able to keep a steady train of thought. One thing I actually wanted to mention, and I believe this has taken effect in every SoulSilver since the 3-year anniversary special, that I actually increased the game sound a little bit, and I don't know whether or not anybody's actually noticed. I'm not using Fire Blast, what am I doing? I raised it because I now have a better set of earbuds, and I can actually hear what things are supposed to sound like, as opposed to, say, if you're listening to... When I first got a laptop, like 5 or 6 years ago, it came with a really crappy set of earbuds that, you know, couldn't play any sort of bass sound effect whatsoever or any low tones, so all of those would get washed out whenever I was editing a video or something. So if I was supposed to hear that, I wouldn't even pick it up. Which is why I think when I got into... in the middle of my first year of LPing, I mentioned this. That I actually originally used 2 different computers, like well, since I spent most of my time away at school, sometimes I would come home and I would have a desktop that had legitimately good speakers. So on that, I could actually hear all of the sounds perfectly, 100%, the way they were meant to sound. And whenever I was using my laptop, I wouldn't be able to. So it was difficult for me to judge how loud I should keep the commentary with respect to how loud the game audio was. Because on one, I would be able to hear the game much higher with respect to my voice, and on the other one, it would be lower. And what I tried to do was, on either one, keep it so that I would still hear my voice louder than I would hear the game. Because I figured, if you're here, you're probably not here for a walkthrough, otherwise you'd be looking for a video that didn't have some idiot talking over it and sounding like a complete dumbass. That you're, for whatever reason, you're here to hear my voice, and if it was drowned out by the game audio, then it would just sound like noise and there'd be no point in watching it in the first place. But now that I have better earbuds, and I assume that most other people in the world either have better earbuds or legitimately decent speakers that are actually speakers and not speakers out of... even with the laptops, the sound quality has gotten tremendous since I first started doing this sort of thing. And when I tried these out and listened to some of my older stuff, I realized I could barely hear the game audio whatsoever. It was like you couldn't even tell it was playing. So I figured it was probably worth buffing up the game audio just so you could actually hear it. But I'm not sure if it's too loud or if it's just right. I guess it depends on where you guys are listening from. Krakow finally wants to learn Magnet Rise! Now, Magnet Rise is a move that will lift him into the air on an electromagnetic field for 5 turns, rendering him incapable of being hit by 4 times super effective ground moves. The problem is, I kinda like my moves here. I guess I get rid of Supersonic because it's only 55 base accuracy, and as much fun as I have confusing things, it's just not accurate enough to be worthwhile. But that makes Krakow the first level 50 member of our team. We finally cracked the halfway point to the level cap. And that trainer finally brings us up to Lavender Town. And before we start exploring it, I actually want to go grab Leaky so we can pick up the yellow flute. So if we follow the trail all the way back down here to this small tree, you may remember had that Pokeball in it that I said would grant us access to the yellow flute that either I said cured sleep or confusion. I hope I said confusion, because I'm pretty sure it's a calcium. Why the hell? Meet you at the real flute! I actually think it's over here. Is it? It might be. I know for a fact there's a hidden item up there. And I don't know why, I always remember this thing being here. But I'm pretty sure the flute is around here somewhere. It's probably not this, because it wouldn't be a hidden item like that. It's somewhere around here. I will find it! Maybe you're over there where we can't actually see, because the dock doesn't jut out that far. Yeah, there is something over there. I guess that's what I missed. It's a wonder that I actually remember this thing is here, because I guarantee I would never find it if I didn't know to look for it. The yellow flute. Now this thing, you'll find in your battle items. And it immediately slaps a Pokemon out of confusion when you use it. Do you know what that means? It means that all of the Persim berries I farmed for, which really wasn't all that much to begin with, are now completely useless. Because the yellow flute is an unlimited use item. No matter how many times your Pokemon gets confused, that yellow flute will always be there. But now back to Lavender Town. And we'll start off by exploring the center, because I already have to switch out Leaky anyway, so... Yeah, the radio station can't broadcast, which makes it kind of stupid that there was a trainer along the way that said he was listening to the radio the whole time, and I was complaining about that before. But yes, we also, even if we get the power plant up and restore power to the radio tower, we still won't be able to pick up any of the Johto radio stations. Because we need some kind of expansion card! Which is a little bit silly, but that's how things work. And while we're here, let me rearrange the party so we have somebody out front that usually isn't out in front, because Duster's been out in front a lot, and as much as I love Duster, we really do have to spread the love. The noble town, nope. You know, there are a lot of words I would use to describe Lavender Town. I think noble is one of the very last ones on that list. But here's the radio tower. I'm sure they are. Like that dude who's running back and forth like he's pacing around waiting for the power to come back on, but yet doing absolutely nothing about it. I would bet dollars to donuts you're the director! You didn't say so, but just judging by what you said, you're probably right. I'm also glad that you're not running into Lupus! I didn't know that if an NPC was running back and forth, that having your Pokemon stand there would actually prevent him from moving. What are you doing to Lupus, by the way? I mean, I know that dogs like to check each other's, Never mind. Logic in a video game! Okay, it's not the first one to ever do it, but... Nope, we can't, because we need the expansion card. Unfortunately, we're not going to get one from this man, who's pretty much like a cock tease. But that's all there is to the radio tower. Even after you restore power to it, there's not going to be too much for you to do there. Volunteer Pokemon House. Oh, look at all the dudes in here! How could they? They're so adorable and fun to use! Especially to leave in your PC and never take out again. You know, like the majority of people do, they catch, even if they catch all 649 as of the 5th generation, you can only carry 6 of them around with you. So assuming you only catch one of each, that's 643 that you're just leaving in the PC to rot until they die. I suddenly feel terrible about everything I've been doing in the last 15 years. We still have town to explore, though. We can't just go on an existential breakdown quite yet. Give it a little bit more time before you start feeling terrible for yourself and everything you've done in your life. Over here's the Name Raider! Exactly the same as it is in Goldenrod City. You can rename your Pokemon here. And over here is Mr. Fuji's house, who's now been converted into a very densely packed graveyard for Pokemon because they had to move him somewhere, considering that the Pokemon Tower has been converted into a radio tower. So they've dug up all of the graves that were once in that tower and shoved them into an old man's home. Okay, starting with spending an hour looking for Chansey, and ending up here with all of these terribly depressing notes and tones, I just can't go on, I'm sorry. This is UniversalGiant, and assuming I don't feel like a complete ass about everything that I've ever done and that I stand for absolutely no reason, because this is a video game and it's not supposed to make sense anyway, I will see you next time when we probably go north from here to go through the rock tunnel and head towards the power plant. See you then.